For all of you out there shopping around for a tax relief company, uh, tax relief attorney, tax relief CPA, tax relief EA, whatever, one of the things you should look at is the company's reviews. This is fairly obvious. We here at Choice Tax Relief, we have, I think, yeah, over 100, 105. Oh, it's right there, 105. I think we're up to a little more than that now. 5-star reviews on Google, 4.8 rating. Great, right? We've never gotten a fake review, right? I don't believe in that. I think Google's going to crack down on that eventually, and the people who are buying fake reviews are going to get screwed. But you really have to be mindful about this industry in particular, because fake reviews are absolutely rampant in this industry. And I'm going to actually show you what I mean right here. I blanked out the company's name, right? I don't want to have problems with this particular company coming after me saying I'm blasting them on. I don't want to call out any particular company in particular. I'm really calling out the industry as a whole, and this is just one example, okay? So what you'll often see happen is that after a company gets a bad review on Google, right? And honestly, I don't think, this isn't actually about the service. It sounds like it's about the sales. Bunch of scammers. Called and spoke to one of the representative salespeople. They didn't even tell me the process and hung up on me when I asked more information about the $40,000 fee they were trying to charge me. Wow. That's crazy. If they're trying to charge someone $40,000 and they don't even explain the process. And first of all, this guy has to owe a lot of money, right? To justify a $40,000 fee. That's really high. But yeah, that's just not good sales, right? If you're going to go for a very high fee, it might be justified, but you have to explain why that fee is justified. So, anyway, they got a bad review. And sometimes the review is for the sales thing. Most of the time it's for service on the back end. Because a lot of large tax relief companies, they're not getting leads organically from, like from YouTube or from Google. They're having to pay for every lead they get. And some of these leads are $500 a pop. Okay, I know because I've been quoted for these leads. And so they gotta spend a lot of money on marketing just to keep the doors open, right? And they gotta charge really high fee, like this 40. That just seems inconceivable. Anyway, they gotta charge really high fees, right, to recoup those marketing dollars. And so, the owners are gonna take their cut out, obviously. But what that doesn't leave a lot of is adequate staffing on the back end, right? And so a lot of the complaints are about, service too. But anyway, my point in this thing is what you'll often see is after the tax relief company gets a bad review, they're going to go out, they're going to buy a batch of like 5 to 10 fake reviews, probably from like Fiverr or somewhere. I don't know where they get them. And I'm noticing a lot of them recently are from the Philippines, okay? And you can kind of tell because, well, these are all kind of Filipino last names here. And all these profiles, they kind of just have like one review. I mean, this guy just has one review too. But I mean, it's just kind of suspicious, right? And, this is like, it's weird too. Like, and the photos are like sideways. This one's sideways. Like, this one's sideways. Like, so what are the odds, right? What are the odds that they're going to get and these are all Filipino. This one has the same last name as this one. Like, what are the odds that immediately after they get a bad kind of, I'm assuming that the bad review is legitimate, they go out and they happen to get 5, and there are more actually on their actual page, 5-star reviews from people who just happen to be of Filipino descent. The odds are not very great. Now, granted, this is in California. I think there are well over a million, maybe over 1.5 million people of Filipino heritage in the U.S. I think Tagalog is like the number 4th most spoken language in California. I think it might be 3rd because I think when they do like English, Spanish, Chinese, they're combining like all Chinese dialects like Cantonese and Mandarin, and then 4th is Tagalog. So, but 5 in a row? With all these with one review, 2 of them having the same last name, and a couple of them having the same weird, like, sideways photo. And another thing, the reviews are not specific. Okay, they're not specific about anything. They're just saying they helped me resolve over a decade. They did this. It's like very generic phrasing, right? They're not really. There's no numbers there, right? It almost looks like it's ChatGPT generated. If you know one kind of indicator of ChatGPT that, you know, kind of professional writers might use, but everyday folks don't typically use, is the M dash, right? So like, oh man, this sounds so ChatGPT. The best part, no surprises, M dash, everything was explained from the start and handled with care. They helped me with taxes during a difficult time. No pressure, no gimmicks. M dash, just clear advice and solid service. And there's more M dashes over here. Right here. Everything was done remotely, calls and emails, and yet I felt completely supported. The experience was smoother than I imagined. So these just reek of fakeness. There's no specifics. They all happen to be from people of Filipino descent. Like, what are the odds of that? They're all on the exact same day, really, as the day that they get a fake 5-star or a real 1-star review. You know, there's no specific employees named, right? That's also an indicator of that's probably a fake. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna leave this up to you. Maybe you're looking at this and you're like, I don't think that's fake. It's just and do I have like a smoking gun here that like would I actually bet my life on this? No, but I'd probably bet a lot of money that these are fake, right? I'll leave this evidence up to you, okay? And I would recommend you to do your own research, okay? When you're looking at reviews, sort by newest, and just see if the sniff test, right? A bunch of reviews on the same day, a bunch of 5-star reviews on the same day that doesn't really have a lot of information about what happened on the case. Do they all appear to be, the same ethnicity, right? I mean, I'm not really, I'm not bringing that in for no reason. I mean, well, obviously, if you're in California and it's, a bunch of, white people or Hispanic people, that's, probably par for the course. But if it's a lot of, people of the same ethnicity from places where fake reviews are often purchased from, the Philippines, India, other parts of Southeast Asia, Middle East, Eastern Europe, right? That's kind of a little red flag. Okay, kind of a little red flag. Hope that was helpful. Before you go out and spend thousands of dollars with, some tax relief company, you want to definitely make sure you vet them. And even beyond, reviews, folks, one thing I always say, if you're not going to use Choice Tax Relief, is, hey, at least make sure whoever you're working with, that the company is owned by an actual tax professional, a CPA, an EA, or an attorney, okay? Make sure they actually tell you on the site who is behind this company, right? Whose reputation and name and ultimately money is on the line when it comes to this company, okay? Because if someone's not willing to put their face and name on, their website for a service business, right? It's different if this is, something else, right? Like a merchant, like you're just selling goods, right? You may not care. But if it's a service business and whoever's behind it is not willing to put their name and face on the website, and it's just some kind of anonymous, who knows who's behind this, might be a red flag. Might be a red flag. Folks, I have some other videos here on the left-hand side of the screen for you about unscrupulous tax relief companies. Maybe unscrupulous is too strong a word. Maybe they just use too strong of a marketing. I don't know. I've never been their customer. Maybe some of you have. Let me know in the comments. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.